Hello, welcome back to a video. This is our first one in a while. I haven't been feeling well mentally lately, so I uh I stopped the videos for a little while, and I've been doing some beginner content on my shorts. So how to move the pieces and stuff. I'm trying to actually make a course on like the very basics of chess. And I'm trying to do that with like shorts and stuff like that. So I think I'm actually pretty excited about that. Um, I act- so without further ado, let's get started. This video is going to be titled "Why I Do Not Recommend the King's Indian at Amateur Level." And I chose this game because it was a tournament game played under Game in 60 time control with a 5-second delay. So it's a little fast, but uh, it's still a slower time control to properly play. So let's go through the game and see why I don't really recommend it. So, and I'm doing it this way because I didn't play this game on chess.com and I already had this game uploaded to Lichess, so I'm just going to do it through Lichess. So I hadn't played too many tournaments for a while, so um, I didn't know what to do against the King's Indian, so I just chose a flexible setup with G3 and just kind of take the center with my two pawns here. Um, and then we reach here, which this is already a new move, a newer move, not very well played. I found like 7 games in the database with it. Um, and then black plays this really surprising move, knight a6. Now, if you properly understand the plans of the King's Indian, you would never play this move. This is a garbage move. It's not a game-losing move, but it's very unclear what it's actually doing. So that's why I don't recommend the King's Indian, because it's very easy to go wrong because you just don't know enough about the opening. And I find a lot of players were playing King's Indian at this tournament, especially kids and teenagers, but they didn't know how to play it. They just knew this setup and were just winging it. And I don't think they actually had a proper plan with knight a6. If they were thinking with a proper plan, they would play knight d7 instantly. They wouldn't play things like knight a6. They would play things like bishop g4. They would play, rook e8. Things that make sense. You know, but, knight a6 was played, knight c3, and then you have this wonky idea, rook b8, which the idea is to, I guess, play knight c7 and then b5. So I'm like, okay, maybe he has something. So I just kind of play into it. Bishop d7, still preparing b5, and I kind of let him get in this knight b4 idea, which is the best idea. But then he goes ahead and lashes out with b5. I was actually very worried during the game about knight b4, to control these d3 square and c2 square, and I just wasn't sure how I was going to respond here, or if this was good for black or not. Um, my gut instinct says it was not, especially since black cannot do this, because then there's a knight trap there. Especially after something like this, I didn't quite know. My human instincts didn't quite understand what I was going to do here. So that's why I was afraid of knight b4. But then he plays this b5 move. So let me show you something. So I already have the game loaded in the database here, or the first 9 moves of the game. This has all been played before, thousands of times. This is kind of a newer move, not many games, so I don't think it's bad. May not have been the best move, but it's what my gut instinct told me to play. So as you can tell, my instincts with openings are not great, but I do know, that I'm supposed to control my center. I do know that I'm supposed to castle my king. I do know that I need to get my pieces out, stuff like that. And then knight a6. Already, knight a6 has only been played one time, right here, one time. If you know it's been played one time and one time only, why would you play it? It makes no sense. So that's why it kind of made me think that he probably, wasn't looking at one or whatever, or didn't really understand a plan what to do here. The best move here is probably just knight c6. And already black is doing very well. It's probably equalized already. So that's probably why e3 isn't a great move. Knight c3, rook b8. Only been played one time. Rook e1. I just kind of play. Oh, he played bishop d7. And then what did I play? Oh, yeah, bishop d2. Yeah, I played bishop d2 and then b5. So if you get this far, and it's spinning the wheels, and this engine is saying this I know the engine. I don't know the engine for this for chess-based database browser, but if this very weak engine is telling me that white has a good advantage here already, it's probably not the best idea. And I just kind of called their bluff. So yeah. C takes B here, and basically I just pin their rook to their knight without much trouble, and I just kind of won an exchange, position my bishop on c3, and then just kind of played chess. This is the part that's hardest to play, is playing chess. And basically I just kind of started dominating, and already the computer gives probably like a +3 advantage here, or +6 even. So I am very firmly in the driver's seat already, because I have won an exchange, and and black has a backward pawn here on d6 and a weak pawn on e6 that I can target, and this queen is glued to this knight. So it's very hard for black to fight back. Yeah, and as soon as he played knight a2, I just instantly played queen a6, and the game ended because there's a fork on the knight and the rook. So that is kind of why I just don't recommend King's Indian at all for amateurs or newer players. Very easy to get lost. It often has very closed positions, which are a little harder to play with than the ones that you're kind of taught. The ones you're taught in the beginning are basically open positions. And it's very hard to get that mindset from an open position to a closed position of what you should be doing in there. So a lot of players have a hard time handling those positions. So that is why that concludes this video on why I just don't recommend the King's Indian defense. I don't say that you should shy away from it completely. I think it's very important to understand how to play against it. But I just don't. If I don't feel comfortable playing King's Indian, I wouldn't recommend anyone else to either. But it's probably something I'm just going to have to see what I can maybe reassess the opening later on in my um my chess career. So thank you for watching, and I appreciate every single one of you who stopped by, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks and take care.